Welcome back to another episode of JK Philly. We are doing another episode predicting for the 2025-2026 season for the awards for this video. Kev, how about we start with our regular award predictions like MVP, Rookie of the Year, Six Man, blah, blah, blah.
Got the stab boots on my back. I could load up and attack on anybody. Grab the gat, grab the mask. I think my aura going black, and I don't plan on turning back. What's the point of doing that when you got people that's around?
Starting off, MVP. I think Jokic finally gets his third this year.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I thought SGA should have ran away with the MVP, I don't think 10 years ago there's an MVP discussion last year, but a lot of people really wanted Jokic to win it.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this weird era where everybody harps on all these advanced metrics and stats, and like I get MVP isn't a team award, but when you're averaging 30 points per game and your team is by far the best team in the loaded West, I don't understand why anybody would vote for Jokic over a guy who averaged 30 points per game and his team won all those games and led the Western Conference the entire season, wire to wire, led the way. And it's not saying, people always act like only one dude can have an MVP caliber season. Jokic had an MVP caliber season,
Yeah.
but it was always the award to win.
Mm-hmm. I believe Jokic obviously is going to get MVP as well. I think for all the reasons that you stated. I also think that the Nuggets are going to be a lot better this year. Bringing in a guy like Cam Johnson, like we talked about beforehand, I think it's going to elevate the team. Bruce Brown, if he's healthy and can fill into the role that maybe he was on the championship team with, I think Denver's just going to be a team that's going to be like, okay, well, OKC's 1 and Denver's 2, or they might even upset and Denver's 1 and OKC's 2 next season. It could be a little bit more of a conversation piece to see where that's going to end up going. But I think Jokic definitely can win as well. I agree with you. But you can move on to Defensive Player of the Year now.
Defensive Player of the Year, they're itching to give it to him. It probably should be Wemby. I mean, look at him. He's built like an alien. Like, I don't know how he's so athletic at that size. Like the way he's able to move, and now he's hitting threes. He's doing all this ridiculous stuff. But defensively, just the way the man's built is going to win him Defensive Player of the Years for years to come.
Right. Yeah, there's really, I don't even know who would be a close two. They were talking about, obviously Evan Mobley just won it from the previous season, and then I think the runner-up was like Draymond Green. Like, if that's the only competition that Wemby's going to have for the next few years, it's going to be Evan Mobley and even the guard of Lou Dort. Like, that's just going to be his award for, like, at least 5 years straight. And it's just going to be like Rudy Gobert when he was on repeat for those few years. It's just going to be like that for a long time.
Like, they've gotten tired of giving it to Gobert, so he doesn't.
Yeah. That's why they gave it to Marcus Smart that 1 year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sixth man, I'm going with Nikhil. I think he was one of the better bench players in the league last year. Now, new scene, new team. I think if they can really unlock what he can do coming off the bench, I think he could be a very viable option for six man. The NBA is so talented now. It used to be, I remember when it was just Jamal Crawford and Lou Will just passing the award back and forth. Now there's so much talent in the NBA. You have 7 or 8 guys who could realistically win it every year now.
Right. Going off of that point, it's just like there's so much talent in the league that we don't even know if Nickeil Alexander-Walker's going to start or if he's going to come off the bench because teams are just getting better. And, like Alexander Walker obviously was on a team with the Timberwolves and he was a big factor for them. So going to another team that has a lot of young players that are developing and really good right now, if he does end up coming off of the bench, like that award is pretty much set for him. I was kind of conflicted with 2 guys. I picked Davion Mitchell with the Heat, and I also had Ty Jerome for, I guess, Memphis now. Davion Mitchell, I can see possibly filling into the 6th man if they want to pair him alongside Tyler Hero. I guess they can do that, and then I would move more towards Ty Jerome. But then you also have to ask yourself, is Ja Morant going to be healthy enough for that throughout the season where Ty Jerome might actually start a few more games than him? Who knows? I think Davion Mitchell, what he showed in the playing game was really good. And obviously Ty Jerome was one of those top guys that was already going to come as a sixth man of the year runner-up last year. So if that's the case again and he is coming off of the bench, then I think that's a shoe-in for him.
Yeah, like you said, they got guard problems now in Memphis because Jaws Desmond Bane's of Orlando Magic now, so Ty Jerome might need to start more games than you originally thought.
Right.
Most improved, I went with Alex Sarr. A lot of these picks were getting kind of basic, so I wanted to jump out the window a little bit with one. I disagree with the way they present the most improved player award now. It was never supposed to be for lottery players, like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
It used to be for first half decade of a career, journeyman or decent players, and then all of a sudden take that lead. Like I mentioned, Jeremy Grant a couple years ago, he just came out of nowhere and all of a sudden was scoring 20 plus for the Pistons. But I think Alex Sarr, who really struggled last year, early in the season, like really struggled, but started to show you some stuff late in the season. He's a good big man. He's a good three-point shooting big man. He still has some other things to work on, being an NBA big man, but he really started to play better for that Wizards team. The best thing that Wizards team did was get rid of Kuzma and just embrace all the young guys on the team. And he seemed to be one of the guys who really flourished, along with Coulibaly and Bub Carrington and other young guys, and the boy they got from the Bucks.
Yeah.
And that all seemed to really benefit Alex Sarr. He's a good pick and roll big man, and him adding that 3-point shot, he's going to be able to pop. He's going to be able to roll. I think he has a very good year next year. And like I said, I wanted to have a pick that wasn't Jokic MVP, Wemby Defensive Player of the Year. Like man, we know this is probably, there's a very good chance Jokic is going to win it.
I think my choice, I obviously went with Andrew Nembhard. Obviously, I think I have a lot of picks that are pretty straightforward, kind of boring, kind of basic. It's pretty obvious they don't have Tyrese Halliburton, and our recent videos that we've been uploading, I think that Nembhard is going to hopefully take on the responsibility of trying to facilitate the offense unless, Rick Carlisle wants Siakam to. But I think Nembhard has shown that he's able to do that throughout the season. He's probably going to lean on him a little bit more, which is just going to turn up his production throughout the season. So I think it's pretty set up for him this year, unless somebody comes out of nowhere. But I think early that should be his award. Let's move in to our Rookie of the Year. I think this one should be pretty interesting.
Ace Bailey,
number 5 overall pick.
Now, we know it's going to be Cooper Flagg unless either injury or the man has just been pulling off the greatest heist in basketball history. You don't an elite level scout to see that this kid is like, he's been blowing up on the internet. I saw clips of him when he was 13 and people were like, yo, this is the first overall pick when it's time. Like, we've known for a while. He's been good at every stop. We knew he was going to be good at Duke. I don't think we expected him to be that good at 19 years old at Duke.
Yeah.
18. Actually, he might have still been 18.
I think he was 18, yeah.
I don't think anybody expected him to be quite that good. So unless he just, like, there will be an adjustment period. It's still the NBA, but unless he's been just, blinding us and before he hits us with something crazy, he's going to win. Even if another rookie matches his level, it's not going to have the hype that Cooper Flagg is. I'd love to sit here and be, I hope VJ wins it. VJ could have the same exact year as Cooper Flagg. There's no way it's not going to Cooper Flagg, and I don't think he'll have the same Cooper Flagg. I think Cooper Flagg is the best rookie in this class by a bit.
Yeah. I honestly believe the exact same way. I wanted to switch it up. I think this is the biggest one that I had to switch up. I went with VJ. I think we got robbed last year with Jared McCain, obviously him going out with injury. I think the Sixers deserve another Rookie of the Year in VJ. My assumption is that Cooper Flagg is going to be put into a position where D'Angelo Russell sucks, and Jason Kidd is going to put Cooper Flagg into a one position, and maybe at the NBA level, he is not as ready as people think he is, and maybe he doesn't perform as well. And VJ Edgecombe, we suck next year. Embiid and Paul George, knock on wood, get hurt in 2 games into the season, and they don't play the rest of the season. And then it's going to be like last year, and VJ is going to be amazing. That's my line that we're gonna get our rookie of the year for VJ Edgecombe.
With it.
All right, let's move on to some of these last ones. I know some of them are kind of boring. I don't even know if you had a coach or a executive, did you?
No, I don't care about that.
Okay. If anybody cares, I picked Quinn Snyder for the Hawks. I like their acquisitions that they made. Not really much to talk about other than that, though. An executive, I was just watching videos of like, it's kind of hard not to give it to Houston landing KD. If they're a top 5 in the West again, even a top 3 in the West again, I think he's a shoo-in for that. But I think the last one that we should have then, clutch player. Who do you have for that?
Clutch player, the goofiest award they thought of quite some time.
Yeah.
But first off, I don't even know what goes in. I'm sure there's some type of calculation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they don't just go, ooh, pretty buzzer beater and vote that guy. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's some. I don't know what it is. I don't care to learn it. I think it's a weird award.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hope a couple clutch shots down the stretch this year, and maybe hits a buzzer beater or two, and runs away with the clutch player of the season award.
I really don't even know how to base it because every year I feel like that they've been doing it. It's just been Jalen Brunson who hits a lot of game winners, or it's just like good in the clutch, I guess, in like those last 4 or 5 minutes of a game, and Steph Curry, who obviously hits buzzer beaters and crazy shots. I don't really know outside of that who to give it to. I just went a little bit different, and I said maybe Donovan Mitchell. Maybe he gets it, and because Garland might get traded because of their all contract situation in Cleveland, maybe he hits a few clutch shots. And like, we forget a couple years ago what he scored 80 or something, so obviously he can do that to teams. So we'll see what happens outside of that. But yeah, let's I think the last bit of awards we got is first All NBA, second, third, and then we're gonna do just one of the All Defensive team. So for your first All NBA team, I think we share all the same guys. We might have one guy that's different, but obviously SGA, you got Luka, Giannis, Evan Mobley, and Jokic.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I have Giannis winning the scoring title.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, scoring title, you're probably going to be first team unless you're Joel Embiid.
Right.
Jokic, I have Jokic winning the MVP, so it only makes sense. Barring injury, I think SGA is the best point guard in the league. I think SGA is the best player in the NBA right now. He's up there with Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can go wrong with saying either of them is the best player in the world. And Mobley, I think Mobley is the best two-way forward in basketball. He gives you more offensively than I ever thought he would get to. I thought he'd become a good offensive player, but he's a very good offensive player.
Yeah.
Reigning defensive player of the year. And Luka, I think Luka, I don't want to say has a bounce back year, but I think in a more, you're comfortable with the Lakers. You spent the whole off season. You're going to have more of you're already one of the highest usage guys in the league. I know you're playing with LeBron. LeBron's 457 years old. The best thing for LeBron would be Luka's usage rate to go up even higher because LeBron's a great player. He's old. He needs less touches. And I think Luka really has an explosion this year on the Lakers now that he's, fully integrated with that team.
I had all the same guys, really. I think the only person that I took out was Evan Mobley. What do you think? What do you think about putting Wemby in that spot this year for going first All NBA?
The only reason I didn't have him there is because they usually only put one center.
Okay. Do you think they would put Wemby as a forward / center just to put him in first All NBA? Or do you think they would just bump out Giannis?
No, I can absolutely see the NBA doing something like that because for years I had to watch Embiid get snubbed first team because Jokic is winning it. But then, of course, if their darling comes along, I'm sure they'll swap right back to, he's a forward center. Well, then Embiid's a forward center. Get the fuck out of here. That made me so mad. He won 2 scoring titles back to back. And they were in 3 years. He made 1 first team when he should have been first team all 3. Not necessarily saying he should have it over Jokic, but I always felt that. I know they want it to be 5 because it's a starting 5 in the NBA, but just... I don't know. You got 2 guards. You don't specify between small and power anymore. It's just 2 forwards,
right,
and 2 guards. So just make it 2. Just give 2 center spots too.
Mm-hmm. And it's like even in that case, it's like Evan Mobley is what, 7 foot, 6'11", something like that.
Yeah,
At what point is he not deemed as a center?
they got Jared Allen, so they don't need him at center. I feel like if he went to some other team, some other teams would be like, "Hey, Mobley, can you play for the 5?"
That's what I'm saying though, because it's like
Yeah,
Bam could be, because obviously it's Kel'el Ware and he's a rookie, but Bam could play alongside of Kel'el Ware at the 4 position. But does that mean
absolutely.
that he can't get put in a forward/center position if he ever made all first NBA? I just thought that was funny. Yeah, that's basically what I had. I put Wemby in that spot. Hopefully they do something to put him as a forward/center maybe. I think it could be a year where he takes off. If not, obviously I think he would be a shoo-in for the second All NBA. For my second, I had Paolo, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Brunson. On your second team, you put Mitchell, Edwards, Paolo, Bron, and Wemby on second team.
Yes, because like I said, Wemby easily first team talent. I had Jokic winning MVP, so I gave him the 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then Wemby the 2. It's LeBron James. They know his time's running out. He probably deserves an All NBA every single year. I don't think he's at a point in his career where they're giving him first team NBAs,
You
but
think he
this is still
deserves
LeBron.
second?
I think he'll have a year that would be deserving of it. Yeah, absolutely. And Edwards, obviously, I had Brunson on my second team. I ended up knocking him to my third
Mm-hmm.
and had Mitchell on my second just because the Cavs are bringing back a very similar team.
Yeah.
I can see Donovan Mitchell having a carbon copy season of what he had last year.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this is why the All NBA teams were kind of hard because it was like realistically, you could swap them too. It could be very realistic. Mitchell's 3 and Brunson's 2 next season.
That's why I put Brunson and Mitchell both on 2, because I think it's going to be a whole year-long thing of them battling back and forth for that 1 and 2 seed in the East. And it's kind of hard to be like, oh, well, we don't know how it's going to weigh out. Like, Mitchell might get first seed with the Cavs but get put on third All NBA, and then Brunson might get put on second but got second overall in the East. It was just like,
Did you have Mitchell on your second?
yeah, I had Mitchell and Brunson, and then I put Edwards, Paolo, and Mobley,
Oh, so you had Edwards as a forward.
a forward guard. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had him as a guard. I had him as just a straight guard. That's what
Mhm.
ended up knocking Brunson off mine.
Yeah, I didn't really, when I made the list, I actually didn't do it in the way of like 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. I kind of just
Mhm.
like, I like these guys. This is the team that I'm gonna put, because at the end of the day, who cares about what I say about it? But
I made it a vibes team.
yeah, honestly, with the last video that we made of going over our bench guys and picking T.J. McConnell and Pat Bev, I'm always about vibes, man. So, but yeah, for my third NBA team, I put Trey Young. I didn't want to disrespect Devin Booker, so I put Booker on that, and then Durant, LeBron, and Sabonis I put on my third. For your third, you had Brunson, Young, and then you had Wagner, Durant, and Jared Allen.
Yeah, Allen. I know there's a good chance he probably won't. I'm a big Jared Allen guy. His numbers don't wow you off the page, but I love a center like Jared Allen. He's one of my favorite big men to watch in the league. That isn't Jokic and Embiid because they're my 1-2.
But what do you think about Zubac getting put on third NBA team?
I could see that. He had a very good year last year.
I think people, I don't know if people would clown me for saying that, but I feel like Zubac is like low key, like really nice, and just nobody cares because it's the Clippers. And it's just like y'all gotta tap in, because when he was on the Lakers and he was young, everybody was talking about him. As soon as he got traded or whatever happened with him, it's just like nobody cared about him anymore. I think he's nice.
Yeah, and my third team, my teams were starting to feel a little like I wanted to have one surprise on there. So I went with Franz Wagner because when I was researching this video, his numbers last year were even better than I thought they were. I knew he was having a good year, but I didn't realize he was having that good of a year. The one thing that could hurt him could be Desmond Bane stealing some of his minutes, even though you can play Franz more at a forward. But
Bro, they're all
yeah,
6'10".
Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
But when I was looking at the numbers, even his playoff numbers for the little bit of time Orlando was in the playoffs, he was good in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I wanted to have one surprise pick on there that wasn't just obvious because there's always going to be a guy that makes the All NBA team that you didn't really see coming. I don't think anybody had Donovan Mitchell as a first NBA
I think
player going in.
they had to though. They had to, or else it would have been crazy.
No, he deserved it.
Yeah.
But before the season started, we know Donovan Mitchell's like that, but nobody had him pinned in for first team All NBA. I don't think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we had no idea the Cavs were going to be like that this year or last year.
Yes, he deserved it 100%. But I don't think going into the preseason there was all these people like Donovan Mitchell, first team NBA guard.
Mm-hmm. For the last all team, we got defense. I think we're a little bit similar on this as well. You got Dyson Daniels, Lou Dort, Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Wemby, while I have same guys in Lou Dort, Evan Mobley, and Wemby. And then I also put Jalen Williams, and I also put Amen Thompson on there as well.
I thought about putting him in.
Yeah, that playoff series was like, man, I don't know if that was just like he was hyped because he was in the playoffs and they were a third seed and he just had like a really good year. But I think if that's the way that he's gonna play throughout his career, like yeah, I think he should be a shoo-in for. We only did one team, but he should definitely be on one of those two teams next year.
No, absolutely, and he probably will be. Because I really do agree with what Jeff Teague was talking about like a week or so ago. He was talking about Kobe making them all defensive teams. He's like, man, Kobe wouldn't defend it like that.
Yeah.
Your name when it comes to all defensive teams means a lot. There are dudes in the league that are very good perimeter defenders,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like a 5.6 points per game guy coming off the bench. Those dudes aren't getting any motion for
Right.
defensive players.
Right.
I mean, with how athletic the league is now, there's all kinds of dudes who can switch and pick up on the perimeter and, follow you to the paint, maybe get a chase down block. But
Mm-hmm.
you really have to have that name to make the All NBA team. So I went with a lot of the obvious choices.
Yeah. I think Dyson Daniels could also sneak his way on there as well. I think Jalen Williams was just so good last year too, and I think he was on the second team this year. But I could definitely see it going whichever way, depending on how OKC and the Hawks do this year. They could find out a way. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with them. Thank you guys for watching another episode of JK Philly. Make sure you stay tuned by subscribing to the channel.